Dean, I ask at coaching clinics, and you've probably been through it before. It's an exercise in awareness, and coaches writing down the name of their favorite coach and why, and having a discussion about it. So at the top of your heads, Dean, who's your favorite coach? All sports, your whole lifetime, and everybody else, think about that.
I think the first one that always jumps to mind was my dad, because parent would always have to volunteer to coach you in whatever, and so my dad always stepped up, because he came from a multi-sport background too, and he played hockey, he played rugby, he played baseball. There's so many things that he did, and so he was always, he was either volunteering or voluntold that he was going to coach, and so it didn't matter the sport, and then he took me out dirt biking and mountain biking and hiking, and I mean there's a lot of other you can also call them activities, like lifestyle activities, and so right through until bantam. He was always my coach for whatever sport I played. The only time, he didn't coach me in soccer. That was the only sport he didn't. Because we had a bunch of Dutch guys, and so they always really wanted to get in there and coach. Because I grew up in North Haven. Anyway, yeah. I mean, the reason I choose him, Wally, is he didn't know a lot of details, like technical and tactical, but he treated everybody fairly. And he was very ethical, and he was harder on me. He always told me, "Look, I'll coach you, but you don't get a get out of jail free card. In fact, it's going to be twice as hard for you. Like I'm going to have to be harder on you in order to make sure other people aren't going to accuse me of favoritism." And that's how it was. But he was always fair, firm but fair, and just. I think that growing up as a kid had a real big impact on me, and even though his knowledge of all these sports was general and it wasn't specific, because I know in contrast to that, once I left him being a coach in hockey, showing a psychoanalyst of all the crazies that I was subjected to after that, and and they all came with a more distinguished pedigree than my dad, as far as, okay, did they play pro or did they coach at a high level and have certification? But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of flawed individuals there, and the ethics and morality went out the window on almost all of them. And really, that's why I ended up leaving sport. It was like black and white. I couldn't believe it. So many people who didn't have those values, and there's no consistency. And if there was consistency, it was consistently bad and negative. And it was very much, you guys know, I mean, I'm going to speculate, I'm a little younger than you guys, but when I grew up, I was in that Graham James era, and I had a lot of friends that went through that. And, it was pretty tough.
%95 of the coaches, their favorite coach was that guy, that kind of ethical, treat you well, respect you. There are some that like the goalie, ones that pushed them and they got results and that from it. But we're trying to sell the ethical piece of doing things the right way. So